Are you the kind of person everyone leaned on? Graceful, dependable, always ready with a smile. From your childhood, you learned that pleasing others kept the world calm, and so, piece by piece, you gave yourself away. At school, at work, in your marriage, your silence was mistaken for agreement, your kindness for endless strength. On the outside, you were admired. On the inside, you are disappearing. If this person is you, then this story is about to change your life forever. This is the story of a woman who gave everything to keep others happy, until one day, she realized she had lost herself. Amara had always been the kind of woman who drew people in. She carried a quiet grace, the sort that made others lean a little closer, convinced she held the answers to their unspoken questions. From childhood, she learned quickly that a smile, a nod, and a word of agreement kept the world around her calm. Her parents praised her for being the good one, the daughter who never caused trouble. And so, without knowing it, she began to trade little pieces of herself for approval. As she grew older, this habit deepened. In school, she agreed to projects she didn't want to do, joined clubs that drained her, and befriended people who mistook her silence for consent. She never wanted to be the reason someone frowned. It became easier to bend than to risk displeasure. By the time she was a young woman, Amara's days were dictated not by her own desires but by the needs of others. Her friends adored her. They called her dependable, selfless, the one they could always count on. To them, she was a constant source of comfort, the person who would rearrange her life to accommodate theirs. Amara smiled at the compliments, but deep inside, a small ache stirred. She longed for someone to ask what she wanted, what she dreamed of. Yet she buried the ache, telling herself that love and acceptance came at the cost of sacrifice. When she married, her husband quickly recognized her yielding nature. He did not ask what color she liked for the curtains, or where she wanted to live. She simply adapted. At first, it seemed like harmony, no arguments, no disagreements. But with every compromise that was never truly hers to make, she shrank a little further. Her laughter became softer, her opinions quieter. In the mirror, she began to see a stranger staring back, a woman who wore the mask of peace but felt emptier with each passing day. Work offered no escape. Colleagues leaned on her to cover shifts, take on extra tasks, and smooth over conflicts. She did it all without protest. They praised her reliability, yet behind the praise was an unspoken truth. They had learned she would not say no. And so, the weight on her shoulders grew heavier, while her sense of self grew thinner, like fabric worn to threads. The years blurred together. Amara could no longer remember the last time she had chosen something simply because she desired it. Her favorite foods, once savored in quiet moments, were replaced by what others preferred. Her hobbies faded into memory, replaced by errands and obligations. She had built her life into a tapestry woven entirely of others' expectations, but in that weaving, she had lost the thread of her own being. One evening, she found herself standing in her bedroom, staring at a shelf of old journals she hadn't touched in years. Curiosity urged her to open one. The pages smelled faintly of dust, but the handwriting leapt alive, her younger self, full of dreams, frustrations, and questions. She read about the books she wanted to write, the places she longed to see, the version of herself who still dared to hope. Tears welled in her eyes, for she could not recognize that girl anymore. Somewhere along the way, she had silenced her voice so thoroughly that even in her own mind, it was faint. Amara closed the journal and sat in the quiet. For the first time in years, she asked herself what she wanted. Not what her husband wanted for dinner, not what her colleagues needed, not what her friends expected. Just her. The silence offered no immediate answer, only the weight of all the years she had lived as a shadow. And in that silence, she realized the truth she had ignored. In trying so desperately to please everyone else, she had abandoned herself. The world had never demanded she disappear. It was she who had slowly erased her own lines, convinced that approval was worth the sacrifice. Amara remained in that room for a long time, the journal resting on her lap. She did not yet know how to reclaim the pieces she had lost. But she knew this much: she could no longer continue as a stranger to herself. Somewhere beneath the layers of silence and compliance, the woman she once was still waited, hoping to be found. In the pursuit of pleasing others, one can lose sight of the self. True peace is not found in endless sacrifice but in the balance between giving and honoring one's own voice. To live fully, we must remember that our worth does not depend on approval. It lies in the courage to be authentic.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you in our next video.